Hello and welcome to the Life Optimizer podcast, where science meets everyday life. My name is Viktoriya, a Yale-trained midwife, passionate about holistic health and wellness. I'm so glad you're here. Here we talk about best ways to optimize your sleep and what you can do to feel better and to improve your hormones and energy and mental clarity. Today we're talking about one of the most overlooked health hacks. It's your sleep. And I have to be honest here, this is something that I struggle with because I'm naturally a night owl. I naturally want to sleep in late and stay up late. And I work part of my time when I'm delivering babies, I work at night. And so that really messes up my circadian rhythm when I have to be up all night and then potentially sleep during the day to recover and then have to function as a daytime person the following day. And so that really throws things off for me. And so definitely I struggle with this and I have to work on this every single day, every single week. And so, there's a lot, when we had little kids, I would do something called revenge bedtime. I don't know if you've heard of this, where the kids are asleep and then you watch a show or people say doom scroll on social media. Definitely terrible for my sleep and definitely something that I did and something that I'm working with to avoid so that I can have better sleep. Okay, so when you do go to sleep, how much sleep do you get? And research shows that generally people will have a couple nights of bad sleep a week. So, you have a child that's sick, somebody was making noise next door, and they wake you up in the middle of the night, and that interrupts your sleep. And so that research shows that we're going to have nights of interrupted sleep, nights where we don't sleep the way that we want, or maybe you're sick, or maybe your partner is sick, things like that, or you have a newborn, or you drink coffee too late. So many things can affect how we sleep, the quality of our sleep. And so we're going to talk about all of that to really help you optimize your sleep wherever you are, whether you're a night shift worker, whether you're traveling all the time, and so you're combating jet lag. So this is going to be an important episode for you. I'm actually feeling extra tired today because of the daylight savings that just happened. So I'm recording and it just happened. And I usually feel really tired for about a week. And so actually that's what research shows, that it takes about a week for us to recover. And that 1 hour of lost sleep where we roll our clocks back. Interesting thing is data show that heart attacks go up by 24% that next day. And then when we get an extra hour of sleep, heart attacks decrease by 21%. That's crazy to me. That 1 hour loss of sleep puts so much stress on our bodies that actually it puts people into such a stressful state and affects their heart so much and their blood pressure so much that they have an increased risk of heart attack. That is crazy to me. But when we go through to today's podcast, we're going to find out that that's not actually abnormal. Our blood pressure and our heart health is affected by our sleep. So there's so much that we can do to give ourselves really good nights of sleep, restful sleep, to improve our sleep. So let's go through it. And I hope you find some morsels of information in this that are helpful, that you can do to really help improve the sleep that you're getting. So let me ask you this. How many hours of sleep did you get last night? If it's less than 7, you're not alone. Studies show that nearly a third of adults don't get the recommended amount of sleep. But here's the problem. Consistent lack of sleep or sleep deprivation isn't just making you tired. It's actually affecting your brain, your body, and even your longevity. That's why we're talking about this, because sleep is so important for so many reasons. So in today's episode, we're breaking down the science of sleep. We're going to be exploring why sleep is so critical. We're going to share proven strategies to achieve deep restorative sleep, and I'm going to share some really interesting research along the way. So let's talk about the science of sleep. First, what actually happens when you sleep? Well, it's not just one long string of nothingness for 7-8 hours, okay? There are cycles that happen, and your body and your brain does different things during these cycles, and all of them are important. I think it's so fascinating. So it's made up of cycles. Each cycle lasts about 90 minutes. During these cycles, we alternate between two main types of sleep, and maybe you've heard of this before: non-REM sleep and REM sleep. Okay, so Non-REM sleep is non-rapid eye movement sleep, and REM sleep is rapid eye movement sleep. REM sleep and non-REM sleep are both likely required for memory consolidation. So that full cycle is required for us to consolidate the memory, the things that happened in the day, for us to put it into long-term memory. So non-rapid eye movement sleep has 3 stages. The first 2 are light sleep, when your body starts to relax and your brain waves slow down. Then comes the deep sleep, also called slow wave sleep. This is when your body gets to work repairing tissues, strengthening your immune system, and consolidating energy stores. So that light sleep, about 10 minutes generally, it's a brief transition between you being awake and asleep. You're easily woken up in this time. You know, when you're just transitioning into sleep and somebody walks in the room and you're wide awake. That's that light sleep. Muscle relaxation happens here, and sometimes your muscles twitch involuntarily. Okay, maybe you've noticed that in yourself or somebody else. Then light sleep happens after that, and this lasts approximately 30 to 40 minutes. This is considered light sleep. Brain waves start slowing and your body temperature continues to drop. Then the third stage of non-rapid eye movement sleep is also called deep sleep or slow wave sleep. This lasts about 20 to 40 minutes, but it does vary. And this is the deepest stage of non-REM sleep. This is characterized by large, slow delta brain waves. This is when your body gets to work on repairing tissues again, strengthening your immune system more, and consolidating energy stores. And this type of sleep is the most restorative sleep. It's hard to wake somebody up in this stage of sleep. Then there's rapid eye movement sleep, or REM sleep. That's when your brain becomes highly active. It's a sleep phase when your eyes move quickly while your eyes are closed. So behind closed eyelids, your eyes are moving quickly. The first REM sleep usually happens after 90 minutes of sleep. So you've done your non-REM, your light, you've kind of went into deep sleep, and then REM sleep begins. And the first REM cycle is usually fairly short. It lasts about 10 minutes, but each REM cycle gets longer and longer as you continue to sleep and as you continue to cycle between REM and non-REM sleep. Okay, so what happens during REM sleep? Dreaming happens here. How does REM sleep impact memory and learning? Well, it plays a crucial role in memory consolidation. So as the night goes on, as you're cycling, memory is consolidated both in non-REM and in REM sleep. REM sleep is also involved in learning and emotional regulation. So studies show that decreases in REM sleep worsen anxiety and depression. Your brain waves become more like those when you're awake, right? Your brain is highly active during REM sleep. Breathing becomes faster and is more irregular. Your heart rate and blood pressure increase to almost the levels of blood pressure and heart rate when you're awake. Your eyes move rapidly back and forth, and your muscles in your arms and legs are temporarily paralyzed. So you are not moving. That twitching that was happening in non-REM sleep is not happening. You're completely not moving. So let's talk about why these sleep cycles are important. So sleep cycles are crucial for maintaining different physiological and psychological functions, as I already alluded to earlier. A large body of research has found that sleep cycles play a crucial role in metabolic regulation, cognitive function, and overall health. So those sleep cycles play a crucial role in all of these things, right? So they play a crucial role in metabolic homeostasis and regulating your metabolism, okay? They're integral, and the sleep cycles that include both non-REM and REM sleep are important, making sure that your metabolism is working well. So disruptions in these sleep cycles lead to metabolic problems like insulin resistance or increased inflammation. So let's talk about how circadian misalignment impacts sleep. So what is circadian misalignment? From our last episode, we talked about circadian misalignment and what that means, your circadian rhythm and what that means. So that's when your sleep-wake cycles in your internal body clock are out of sync. So they're misaligned. So this happens when you stay up too late. You know, it's dark outside and you're on a screen, you're watching something, you're exercising, you have a meal late. So your body is getting ready to fall asleep, and you are doing the opposite. You are energizing your body and doing active activities, okay? It what makes the two cycles, your circadian rhythm and your sleep-wake cycles, work out of sync from one another. This also happens with night shift work. This also happens when we travel and we feel jet lag, right? So studies have shown that circadian misalignment, which often goes hand in hand with a regular sleep pattern, right? It's easy to get misaligned if you go to sleep and wake up at different times. Studies show that this misalignment makes markers of insulin resistance and inflammation worse. And studies also show that this misalignment alone does this. But on top of that, likely you have sleep deprivation that also affects your brain and how your brain functions, and just makes the issue of hormonal regulation harder and worse. Okay, so what else? Prolonged sleep restriction combined with this circadian disruption has been linked to metabolic syndrome, which is a syndrome of insulin sensitivity, blood pressure issues, weight gain, things like that. So a whole syndrome focused on your metabolism is affected by a disruption of your circadian rhythm and sleep-wake cycles being misaligned with one another. And so that indicates that both sleep quality and timing are essential for your metabolic health. And this happened to me. So a lot of stress at work, night shift cycles, stressful period of my life. I started not to feel well, and I shared a lot about that in our first episode. And so I went to get my labs checked, and my hemoglobin A1C was elevated. I was in shock. Why? Because I'm typically a healthy person. I exercise, I eat well, etc. But I knew that this stress and this night shift situation and poor sleep situation were affecting me. But when I saw that my markers of insulin sensitivity were abnormal, I was shocked because, again, I had thought that all the other things that I was doing would help offset that. And actually, my body was under much more stress than I had even wanted to admit. Okay, so I just wanted to share that. So let's talk about other metabolic effects. Let's talk about your hunger hormone. So we all want to maintain a healthy weight. It helps our heart function, right? Prevents chronic disease, things like that. So sleep controls the production of two key hormones that have to do with your hunger. Okay, two hormones, leptin and ghrelin. So leptin signals feelings of fullness, and sleep deprivation or not getting enough sleep lowers leptin levels and increases hunger. Okay. Ghrelin, on the other hand, stimulates appetite. And so sleep deprivation raises ghrelin levels, leading to overeating. So it makes you feel hungry. Okay. So these hormonal imbalances contribute to weight gain and obesity among those with chronic sleep loss. Let's talk about your thyroid hormones and how your thyroid is affected by sleep. Thyroid hormones regulate metabolism and energy needs. And sleep disruption increases the risk of thyroid dysfunction because it interferes with the hypothalamic pituitary thyroid axis. Okay, let's talk about that. This is a hard one because sleep and thyroid, they affect each other back and forth. So poor sleep affects your thyroid and poor thyroid affects your sleep. And so it's important to really work on both and support both, and we're going to be talking about more of that soon. Thyroid hormone release strongly depends on stimulation from your suprachiasmatic nucleus, and that's your internal body clock that's located in the hypothalamus. And so when the suprachiasmatic nucleus, that body clock, is stimulated, it also tells the hypothalamus to release a hormone called that thyrotropin stimulating hormone that tells the pituitary to release thyroid stimulating hormone that then goes to the thyroid and tells the thyroid to release thyroid hormones. Okay, well, what happens is when your sleep-wake cycles are off, this affects the chain of reactions that tell the thyroid to release hormone. Okay, and so the thyroid hormone release is either released at a different time, it's released in a different amount, and so really you want those two cycles to be in sync. Let's talk a little bit more about how sleep affects your brain. So sleep affects your cognitive function and waste clearance in the brain. So this is also really important for us if we feel symptoms of brain fog. So how does this work? Sleep cycles play a vital role in this clearance of waste from our brain. So during sleep, especially during non-REM sleep, the brain removes waste toxins through a system called the glymphatic system. So the glymphatic system is a system that collects the toxins and removes them, and it's made of tubes that carry fresh fluid into the brain, mix it with waste, and then flush it out. So during sleep, the brain's extracellular space expands, and that makes it easier for the cerebral spinal fluid to flow through the brain. And the glymphatic system is more active during sleep than it is during the day. And so this process is crucial for maintaining cognitive health. Okay, what else? I have just a couple more and we're going to get into what can we do. Sleep also affects your reproductive hormones. So testosterone production is critical for both men and women, and it peaks during sleep, especially during the REM stages of sleep. Sleep deprivation decreases testosterone levels, leading to reduced libido, lower sperm count for men, and fatigue and mood disturbances. Estrogen and progesterone are vital for menstrual cycles for women's reproductive health, pregnancy, bone health, and are regulated during sleep. Insufficient sleep disrupts hormonal cycles. It can disrupt ovulation timing. It can lead to irregular periods or irregular ovulation, as I said, and it can worsen symptoms of menopause. And those two things go together. So your menopause affects sleep, and sleep affects symptoms of menopause. And so the hormonal fluctuations that accompany the menstrual cycle can be influenced by sleep greatly. And so that suggests that maintaining regular sleep patterns to the best of our abilities is essential for reproductive health as well. Okay, so sleep in your immune system is another one, right? Have you ever noticed you don't sleep well a couple of nights and then all of a sudden you get runny nose, congestion, you're picking up whatever bugs are out there in the world. So sleep actually strengthens the immune system and enhances the production of immune cells, which are T cells and natural killer cells, which fight infections and fight cancer. A single night of reduced sleep, and that's sleep of 5 to 6 hours, can suppress your immune system by 70%, making individuals susceptible to illnesses like the common cold and other viruses. Okay. So sleep also affects your cardiovascular health. As we already discussed, during non-REM sleep, blood pressure drops and heart rate stabilizes. And then during REM sleep, it actually starts to creep back up. So sleep deprivation leads to elevated stress hormones and higher blood pressure and increased risk of hypertension. Okay. And I alluded to cancer, but let's talk a little bit about cancer risk with sleep. So sleep deficiency compromises the body's ability to fight cancer. Natural killer cells identify and destroy cancerous cells become less effective with inadequate sleep. And studies show that individuals that sleep less than 6 hours a night have a 40% increase in cancer than those who get the recommended 7 to 9 hours. Night shift workers who experience disrupted circadian rhythms have a higher incidence of breast, colon, and prostate cancer. Okay, so as you can imagine, sleep and sleep disruption affects longevity. It accelerates aging and shortens our lifespan. Telomeres, which are little protective caps on chromosomes that determine cellular aging, are actually shortened by chronic lack of sleep. And a consistent sleep schedule or consistent sleep or enough sleep and enough good sleep preserves telomere length and delays cellular aging, which means we have hope. There's hope in the world, okay? So how many cycles of sleep do you need? How much do you need? Let's get into it. The ideal number of sleep cycles we should aim for during a night's sleep typically ranges from 5 to 6 cycles. And each cycle lasts about 90 minutes. So that means we need approximately 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. Okay, and this allows for a balanced distribution of both non-REM and REM sleep, and then this is essential for all the things we just talked about. And the quality of sleep can be significantly affected by how many cycles you get. Remember I said as you get more and more cycles, you have more and more REM sleep. Longer periods of REM sleep. And studies show that insufficient sleep cycles can lead to cognitive impairments, increased stress levels, because the brain doesn't have enough time to process and consolidate memories. And chronic sleep deprivation, which results in less sleep cycles, has been linked to negative health outcomes, as I've already talked about, and it increases the risk of hypertension and cognitive decline. So aiming for 5 to 6 sleep cycles or 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night, that's our goal. That's what we're striving for. So we just reviewed how important sleep is, that it affects every body system, everything that we do, every body system, hormone levels, reproductive hormones as well. So let's talk about what we can do to improve our sleep. And this can be overwhelming. I'm going to tell you that because if I had a pill or magic fairy dust to sprinkle all over the world, or at least sprinkle on me to get the perfect sleep, I would do it. This is one place that I struggle a lot with. And so I do all or some of these things. And no, I'm not perfect at doing all these things, but I definitely try every day. One thing that I learned over the years is, well, Einstein defines insanity as doing something the same and expecting a different result. And so, it used to be that I would just say, oh, I'll just go to sleep whenever and it's fine, I'll feel good in the morning, which is a lie, right? Like that's not a thing. You can't get very little sleep and then feel amazing in the morning. And so my one trick or one hack is, if you want 7 to 9 hours of sleep, calculate backwards. If you're a night owl, calculate backwards. When do you have to be in bed for that sleep, 7 to 9 hours of sleep to happen? Okay. Wishful thinking isn't going to do it. We actually have to put systems in place to help us do this, because it is very easy to scroll on social media, to watch a good movie in bed, to literally do anything but go to sleep, right? You've had a busy day, you want to unwind, literally anything else other than sleep. But because sleep is so critical to our long-term health, longevity, aging, etc., this is something that we should make a priority. So just again, little tips and tricks that we can all use. So changing something big can be really overwhelming. Start with something small and you'll see even small changes will make your sleep quality better, and then slowly will increase how much you sleep or how long you sleep. So let's go into actionable steps. And these are strategies that can help you optimize sleep, optimize deep rest, and both quality and duration of your sleep. So I grouped them into 4 categories of what we can do and what we can start to work on today. So 1 is optimizing your sleep environment. 2 is having a consistent sleep routine, addressing our diet and our lifestyle, and using technology to our advantage. Okay, so first, optimize your sleep environment. Make sure your bedroom is a sanctuary for rest. Blackout curtains is one, maybe some white noise, either a fan or a white noise machine to drown out sounds if you're in a loud place. Also keep the room cool. And the research from the Journal of Sleep Research shows that small adjustments can lead to significant improvements in sleep quality. So create a conducive sleep environment. A comfortable, dark, quiet environment minimizes disruptions that prevent deep sleep. And some of us, as I already have talked about before, some of us are very sensitive to light. So that means every little light that's on is turned off, potentially blackout curtains to block out light on the outside, things like that. The bedroom should be cool. Aim for about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. And again, you can use blackout curtains or an eye mask. Reduce noise. You might want to wear earplugs or use a white noise machine, and make sure you have a comfortable mattress and pillow, because if you're sleeping and your mattress and pillow are causing you pain, it's not going to be pleasant. Even if the room is dark, if you're in pain and uncomfortable, it's going to be hard to get a restful night of sleep. Next, establish a consistent sleep routine. Go to sleep and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps regulate circadian rhythm and makes it easier to fall asleep and to wake up. And create a relaxing bedtime routine that might include reading, meditation, maybe some gentle stretching. So going to bed and waking up at the same time every day really helps stabilize the circadian rhythm and allows the brain to have consistency. And so set a fixed bedtime, wake up and go to sleep at the same time, even on weekends, and avoid catching up on the weekends, right? The goal is to get that 7-9 hours all the time. Sometimes you might have to catch up. I have to be honest. Sometimes you might have to catch up and get a chance, but don't make that the excuse then for staying up late or, not getting enough sleep on other days of the week that you're going to sleep in on the weekend, because that's really not good for your body and your hormones either. One nice thing you can do or have a pre-sleep routine to tell your body to relax, decompress, whether that's taking a bath, whether that's, reading a calming book, something like that, or doing a little meditation, listening to relaxing music. Avoid emotionally stimulating activities like really intense work, arguments. Definitely don't argue before bed, or intense exercise. Even intense physical exercise can really activate you and make it hard for you to sleep. Optimize your light exposure. Okay, bright light exposure in the morning strengthens the circadian rhythm and tells your body, okay, it's light outside, I'll be awake. And then as the sun sets, it tells your body it's time to go to sleep. And so optimize that exposure in your house. So get sunlight exposure early in the day, and then dim indoor lights in the evening to mimic that setting sun. And we talked all about this in our last episode. Okay. Practice relaxation techniques before bed. So if you've been running around and really had a stressful day and you want to go to sleep and have restful sleep, help your body decompress, because we know that stressing and anxiety activate the fight or flight response, and they disrupt deep sleep and deep rest. So what can you do to really help your body decompress? Prayer, meditation, some deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation exercises before bed. So lots of things that we can do. Okay. Laying there and just literally taking some deep breaths. It doesn't have to be, I don't want there to be barriers for you. So if you're like, I don't meditate, that's fine. Lay on your bed and just close your eyes and take some deep breaths, right? It doesn't have to be some fancy thing. You don't need to sit on a mat. Just let your body know, I'm okay. Take some deep breaths, do some square breathing just to tell your body that you are relaxed. Dim your lights. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Okay. Diet and exercise are also crucial. I talked a little bit about exercise. And so regular exercise is another game changer. It helps with you having deeper, more restful sleep. Avoiding caffeine is important. Avoiding caffeine, preferably 8 hours before bedtime in general. And then eat foods, I should say, that have magnesium, like spinach, bananas, almonds. They promote relaxation. And then don't eat late at night. That can cause indigestion and can delay the body's preparation for sleep. Finish eating about 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. Avoid heavy food, spicy food, acidic foods in the evening. Limit your caffeine, alcohol, and stimulants, anything else that might have caffeine in it or anything else that has a stimulant and is stimulating, because caffeine blocks adenosine, and so it blocks that sleep pressure. And alcohol fragments sleep cycles and actually suppresses your REM sleep. And so it doesn't allow you to have those nice REM cycles when you sleep. And exercise is important, reduces stress, and helps regulate your circadian rhythm, but not vigorous exercise right before bed. Technology is a hard one. It can be your ally and it can not be your ally. And so there are a lot of tools to help you optimize your sleep. There are apps that you can use to really tell you how much sleep debt you've accrued. And sleep debt is when you don't get enough sleep on certain days. We have what's called sleep debt, which is our body still needs those hours that we missed. It's kind of eye-opening. After a couple nights of sleep, your sleep debt is 6 hours, and that's almost a full night of sleep that you're behind on. And so then it really helps you see why you're feeling so crummy. You might be like, well, I'm doing fine. I'm going to work. I'm doing all the things, but I'm just feeling so tired this week. Maybe it's because Monday, Tuesday, you got, 4.5, 5 hours of sleep and your sleep was interrupted. Maybe you drank caffeine too late, something like that. And so your sleep debt is then a bunch of hours. And so the rest of the week you're feeling groggy and you can't quite figure out why. So there are lots of apps and tools that you can use to really help figure out your sleep, how you sleep, when your brain would function best, when your most wakeful times are. So we can use it to our advantage. There are also apps that help you do some deep breathing. And really after sundown, we want to avoid being exposed to bright lights from our technology. And so after sundown, we really want to change our screens to a red colored filter. And you can Google how to do that, or you can wear the blue light blocking glasses. night shift filters on your phones are not quite enough. So see what you can do in terms of technology to help you optimize your sleep, to help you figure out each day when your best wake up time and when your best bedtime is, to really sync up your circadian rhythm. There are apps that will tell you, likely your melatonin is released here, likely your cortisol is released here. So that could be really helpful so that it's not so abstract. So definitely really lots of easy ways to do this. So we covered a lot today. We talked about why sleep is essential for your health, the consequences of poor sleep and how it affects every body process, and really actionable strategies to improve deep rest. By prioritizing deep sleep, you're investing in your physical health, mental clarity, and overall well-being, youthfulness, and longevity. For our Life Optimizer Challenge today, I challenge you to try one or two of these strategies to see if you can tweak a couple things to really improve the sleep quality that you have. Maybe set a consistent bedtime, maybe work backwards to figure out when you should be going to sleep based on when you usually wake up. Maybe it's, making all your screens and devices red. Maybe it's turning off devices 1 to 2 hours before bed. There's so much that we can do. Start with one small thing and see how you feel. I'd love to hear from you to see if there's anything that stood out, maybe something that was new for you or something that really pushed you to make a change. Or if you did make a change, tell me how you liked it. Tell me what was hard about it or what was easy about it or stuff that you're already doing. I'd love to hear more tips and tricks on improving sleep. So let me know in the comments for sure. Thank you so much for tuning in into the Life Optimizer podcast. Remember, tiny changes lead to a whole new you. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for tuning in into the Life Optimizer podcast. Remember, tiny changes lead to a whole new you. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, share, and thanks so much for being here.